They'll be calling you a radical. This is a very, very cool place I'm at. This is where I live. This is Little Mountain, Utah. That's Fremont Island. Kit Carson's Cross right there. This has always been underwater. Always. Even in the lowest of years. By the way, Norm Banger just passed away. His pumps are right down out here. There's bugs out here. That's the only thing alive. The gnats are all over. It's a sunset. Earth Day, Earth Day, Earth Day. See that out there? You can kind of see the humps almost look like animals out there, right over. I've never seen that. That's an island. I'm out here. I took a friend out here the other day, and I'm like, he's, oh my God, I can't believe it. Where's the water? I can't see the water. Something, you know, he's rubbing his eyes. He's an old timer, you know, and I'm like, there is no water. I'm here to tell you, the Great Salt Lake, Lake Bonneville right here, the shoreline, millions of years ago, the whole thing. This is the lowest this piece of real estate on Mother Earth has been probably in hundreds of millions of years. For real. For real. And I'm going to show you when I turn the camera around, because I'm right here. Right there's, I've been chased out of here since I was a boy with helicopters. They Moxie fuel right here. This is Western Zirconium, where they, you know, make the freaking spent fuel rods. They do much more than that here. They bring it in illegally, which, you know, dirty Herbie, I mean, 252 dump sites all over. This is, want to talk about Earth Day, the inception of Earth Day. The 1970, not what this UN has written in the Wikipedia. You know, that's bullshit. Utah, Ogden, Utah, San Francisco, incredible ties right here. You get on the train and you'd ride right back and forth. Everybody did it. Right here, that's the causeway. This is the causeway. It starts right there, over the top of the lake. It was wood. When we were kids, we take our boat right out here. You know, this is where we hung. Our keg parties right over here. Take our girlfriends and our big parties right here before this was all fenced off. It was like, very much like the central coast of California. By the way, when I was down there, and I want to talk a little bit about this before I go on this rant, I was cleared by the hospital on 3/5 this year, 15. 1,240 days I was in treatment at LDS. A red 10 with ML de novo leukemia. Fukushima's going to give you leukemia, it's going to give leukemia, then I got it. Only 10 to ever walk out of that hospital. I did it without a bone marrow transplant. I haven't even had one aspirin in over 2.5 years. You know, I had the central line, but it's a miracle. When I was in California, so they released me. I didn't know they were going to release me. Had no idea. I'd been in New York protesting, very cold. I feel for everybody in the East. What a horrible winter. You know, we protested in front of the MoMA the day the Royal, wow, that's an important protest on that video that we did. Thank you, Patrick, McCormick, Kevin. You know, as I presented them to be stuffed, I went to the curator and tried to have them stuffed. Shane Russell. I went to California in my walk. It was probably one of the most powerful experiences of my life, that walk. Out in Gorda, sleeping in the middle of the nowhere all by myself, on the cliffs, could hear the elephant seals barking at night, the shores rush in, could see the stars across. I mean, I had dreams about Annika and about my father. You know, they both died of AML leukemia, which I almost did for the first time in many, 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 many years. I want to tell you, and so people understand, my rant and my raving and my intensity is simply, and I want people to really understand that. And first off, I know that hundreds, thousands of people prayed for me. Thousands. There was a day, 2/26/2012, where Gwen Holdenberry and a bunch of other spiritual healers organized all over the world, and they did a simultaneous prayer seance on every corner of the earth for me. They had fires, and they did it, you know, and they had me stand by the window, and so many people prayed for me and fought for me and was right there with me toe to toe in this battle. I can't thank all of you enough. I really cannot. I haven't had time because I got back from that intense walk. It was so intense, that walk. It was hardcore. And then I got home, of course, Obama here, trying to put cement fuel in the energy solutions, you know, and I'm the only one that protests. I'm on my own. And so it's been a whirlwind. I've been kind of being able to relax just the last few days. And it's been very emotional for me. And for all of you, I want to say to everybody that thank you so much. I love all of you so much. I don't think words can express how much I love you. I don't think words can express how much I love the earth, how much I love Mother Earth. If you haven't learned from this, I'm in love with this place. I have an incredible romance with our keg parties. By the way, Luann, Mick Jagger's old girlfriend, grew up right over here. Her and I and our group right here all the time, you know, listening to Mick Jagger. That brings me to the protest. You know, my work is all in honor of these Utah girls that have passed too young of leukemia. That's what my work is. May a landslide bring you down. That's a Utah girl, Stevie. She lived here for a long time, in her teen years. She wrote Gypsy for Robin Anderson, a young Utah girl, died of leukemia. So many of them. You know, I know hundreds of them. Dozens right here that I grew up with, Christy, you know, Gail, our friends, our childhood friends, us little kids. You know, a guy stopped at my house, an old farmer that I respect, and he was talking about, you know, the environment. You know, he says, yeah, my wife from down central Utah, and you know, and he says, I hope she doesn't get it. You know, she was there in the down winter. I says, come on, you're smarter than that. That's what he mean. Half-life's 24,500 years. What, you're not? Mike Lee? What, do you sound like Mike Lee now? You know, his father died right there in the same room at Weber State. Mike Lee, Lisa Lynn both lied to me. You know, Mike, he says, I'll get back to you within the week, Kevin. You know, I'm going to talk to Senator Wyden, who went to Fukushima, and I'll call you this week. Not only did he has not called me in a year and a half, he's a fraud. Well, we know his house in foreclosure. He says he's fiscally responsible. He had me kicked off Medicaid. My daughter's like, I've never heard of anybody being kicked off Medicaid while they're in the fight. It's unheard of. For no reason. Well, there's a reason. That's how they play here. Wow. I love the earth, if you can't tell. I love the, even in New York City. By the way, the environment in New York City, there's some places that I absolutely love. You can walk down through Lower Manhattan. I love Lower Manhattan. You get through Soho, you know, water on both sides of you. The lights beaming and gleaming off. Oh, it's spectacular. It's grand. And you can go down there, you get in Midtown, and it's insane. But you go down to Lower Manhattan, you go for a stroll. They still got neighborhoods there. You don't think, but they do. I mean, California, that's central. I've been thinking about it, you know, sleeping out there on the cliffs, in the cathedral redwoods. I met some amazing people. And Earth Day back then was a teaching. It was hardcore protest. And remember, this is Ogden, Utah. We were American Ground Zero, Carol Gallagher. I know Carol. They were all here because we knew this is where the greatest environmentalists. I was in Stegner's program at 16 years old. Wild, drunken heathen, but he got me. You know, that was my coping mechanism because my father's sperm. Somebody says, oh, you're like Hulk. I says, yeah, Hulk was made of freaking plutonium, and so am I. Literally, my dad's sperm so lit up, drafted right here on this ranch, grew up right here. I mean, what a free spirit, beautiful man he was. And my beautiful mother, what a romance they had. Oh my God, what a romance. We got to go out listening to music. I mean, that's how we got raised. This beautiful place, but I was a mutated. Jackson Pollock says, I am nature. Kevin Blanch, I am unnatured, literally. I was made from plutonium. My dad's sperm so lit up, he was human lab riding in the Nevada test site, my flight at San Onofre, back and forth on the train. You know, the last San Diegan, she calls me down there, San Francisco, that way to San Diego, and my mom said, I mean, I'd start hyperventilating when I was a kid in the old station wagon when we're headed down there, and it wasn't old, it was brand new, the Impala, you know. She would think I was having seizures, and she, you know, my twin sister, she says, no, Mom, he's excited again. He can smell the ocean. He can smell the Great Salt Lake. My senses were so keen then, I think from being radioactive, but they were all here. I knew Edward Abbey very personally. Everybody did here. You know, one of his wives still around. I talked to her not very long ago. Stegner. You know, everybody came here. They were hardcore, they were intense, they were radical. I went to the first one when I was 10 at Weber State. My aunt took, and I think about her, how beautiful. And I think about the women, young, old of this days, and I think about them now. I think about her. She was so beautiful, incredible. I mean, she looked like she was this beautiful young Indian squaw. She looked like she had that long, beautiful brown hair. Now I look at her, she drank the Kool-Aid. All the women, all those beautiful environmentalists, from old to young, the young ones, they knew. I mean, this is in honor of those great artists that were in San Francisco at the time, doing the great work, the teach-ins. They were artists, they were hardcore, rallying around environmentalists. The Environmental Act passed, what, 333 to 1. in Congress. We were environmentally conscious. We were beautiful. Look around. Look what we looked like. Look what you looked like. I think about her now. She drank the Kool-Aid. She traded the flowers in her hair for a mortgage and a shiny car. So one of my art professors, when I got kicked out of art school, which I got kicked out of multiple art schools, Berkeley, the University of Utah, Weber, I got kicked out of them all. Thank you. Badge of honor. Post-ignorance. He says, oh, he was talking. Oh, the piece has no passion, he would say. You know, not mine. When critique, you look at mine and say, whoa, he didn't know what to make of mine. Nobody still does. He would say, oh, it's like marrying for money. He was right. That's what you all did. It was us, 60-year-olds. You know, I'm not that old, but I was there. I saw you. San Francisco was so bohemian. San Francisco was so full of art. San Francisco was spectacular when I was a kid. Oh my God. So was Utah. So was Ogden, Utah. They were similar, so much alike. Bohemian, artistic, wealthy, young, old, sexy, beautiful, dynamic, but one common denominator: in love with the earth. Everybody, the beautiful people, and because it's simple. It's real simple. If you're in love with the right things and you're doing the right things and you're in tune with the right things, you're going to be beautiful. It's that simple. If you're not, and you trade it all in for a mortgage and a shiny car, and you married for money, how can you be beautiful when you're not? Yours dying. I walked it. I documented it. Tide pool's dead. Big, beautiful pines, soil radiation killing them. Tops of the redwoods actually dying. The most hardcore, hardy creature on earth is a redwood. That's why they make it 3/4. That suck, you know, nutrients out of the atmosphere, out of the ground. I mean, spectacular. Take a chainsaw, cut them down so they could build this right here, the trestle. Wow, what a place. I'm going to walk out there the next couple of days. I'm going to walk all the way to Fremont. I'll show you where Kit Carson's Cross. Some professor comes out there and they came to my house. Well, God, you know, he's supposed to be the set, can't find it. I know it's at. You know, this is my place. Because I was in bed with the lights on a landscape. The romance that I had with the landscape. Why would I ever leave her? You know? You fuckers want to abuse her and kill her? Look at the island. Wow. I mean, they look like ancient cathedrals. City of Rocks is right over here, by the way. I'll do some videos out there. And if you've never been there, that's where the natives all gathered to do so much of their spiritual stuff, and you can see why. They're gods. Those rocks are, I mean, they are so godlike, it's amazing. Well, this is all God. This is God. We killed it. What happened, you know? It was a teaching. It was environmentally conscious. It broke my heart. I want to show you something. I've been chased out of there. I used to get chased out of there with a helicopter. They moxie fuel there. They bring it on the train. They go right over there and they moxie fuel. And people here don't even know that's what they do right there. Westinghouse underneath, the zirconium. Everybody works there. They have no clue. Look what we've done. And if you don't think about it, this is the Great Salt Lake. It takes in the Great Basin. The Great Basin's spectacular. I can take you on drives out here. You know, Edward, what is it, Abbey's rule? I believe it was Edward Abbey's rule. Takes you less than 3 times to find someplace out here in the desert not worth finding. I've got places that took me 100 times away. I can drive you right here on back roads and take you and snake you and freaking take you all the way to the Pacific Ocean. Never see another person. For real. For real. I know this desert. And I know it is the grapes of wrath on Balco. It is the molded grapes of wrath. The dust storms are going to blow across it. We don't even know the toxins are going to raise off that thing. You know, I've never seen it like in my 55 years. There's no water. And this is spring. This is spring. This is spring. You can walk the Fremont. Who would have ever believed it? So, I'll do my little sit-in tomorrow. I'll have my own little sit-in. You know, I'll round up my grandkids. You know, that's what I got to do. And it's not a come-by-yard party. You know, on the Earth Day, I was probably too young to be there and witness that at 10 years old, but I was. And I would like to say this about the women. The beautiful women. The men will follow. You think about the women, what they look like in the 60s, all you men. Think about it. Raquel Welch, oh yeah, she's a San Diego girl. La Jolla girl, shit. You know, our other place, we drive back and forth from here in San Diego. I was down there. I used to see her when I was a kid. Oh my God. You know, all these incredible females, Edie Sedgwick, you know, so many, but Jane Fonda, so many of them, I mean, Bridget Bardot, you know, all of them, but they were environmentally conscious. It was so in vogue, and the men followed, like the Freudian dogs they are. Oh, did they follow? Where are you girls? What happened to you girls? Look in the mirror. You know how beautiful you used to be when you had flowers in your hair? Going to California, you'd find that girl with the flowers in her hair. I hear she cries with tears in her eyes. You know, she's never ever been born. Yes, she was born, because I saw her. You know, I used to hang with her. I was with her. You know, we loved together. What happened to you? What happened to you? Oh, you sold it all out for a mortgage and a shiny car. Like marrying for money. The whole country married for money. It's fucking sad. We killed her. What a fucking landscape. I can't wait to walk. I'm going to walk out there. This is the causeway. Wow. You can see even the dust in the horizon. You know, it's spring. We had a little bit of rain a few days ago. Hopefully. We're going to get dust. Get filters for your furnaces now. Or your air conditioners now, because this is going to be epic. I'm telling you, I know this desert like fucking no other, like the back of my hand. I've never seen anything like it. It's fucking white. You're going to get mud and fucking shit's going to be slung across this fucker. So epic. I'll be in Vienna, I believe the 10th of June, taking on the IAA. Like I said, I can't tell you how happy I am to be alive. And I can't tell you how happy I am to be able to stand right here at a sunset on the cliffs in California. You know, because I didn't die. I got a second chance. And all my beautiful friends that died, you know, how much I love them. Paul, Carla, Tracy, you know, little Molly. So many of my friends, as I sat with them as they passed in this epic, epic fucking battle. You know. This video right here I thought about every day when I was in the hospital doing it. Why? Because my dad, my uncles, Mr. Whitaker, freaking, you know, all those guys, you know, Grant, Fusenbark, my grandpa, those are my uncles. That's my family, you know. Abe's my grandpa. My dad, they're the ones that built the shit. I got to meet Smithson. I knew how important it was. I knew that we would maybe get lucky and get that spot. I thought about it when I was in there. I got to get that video of the jet. I've had it on my mind, Eric, because it was kind of underwater for decades. It is the perfect video. The perfect day. The perfect day. That was the perfect day. So's this one. So's every day. I love this earth. I honestly love it. I'm going to fight her, and I'm going to be radical, and I'm going to be intense. I'm going to fight with everything I got for her. Because she is the true love and the true romance. She's never betrayed me. Never betrayed me. You know, I've been in love with her since I was a little boy. Why would I ever leave her? You left her. I don't get it. You know, I've gave up a lot of incredible females, physically, mentally, everything, because I refuse to give up my environmentalism. I've stood my ground my whole life. And I'm going to continue. I don't care how in or out of vogue. It doesn't matter. Wow. Stand tuned.